Fethi Chebil, speaking on regulatory framework for advanced air mobility, the infrastructure perspective. Over
Thank
to
you. Thank you so much. This session basically aims to bridge the advanced urban air mobility and air transportation. So basically, I would like to focus on the industry itself, on the advanced air mobility. So it could help you locate all the speakers in the map of the business. I will not talk specifically about VPorts. You can check our website, vport.com, and you can see basically where are we located. We are in Quebec. We have the first network here. In Canada, we're creating corridor between the US and Canada. We are in India, UAE. We are in Europe and other countries. So the advanced air mobility today is basically three key components. The first one is the eVTOLs machines. So the electrical vertical takeoff and landing. There are almost 350 companies today doing the eVTOL, developing almost 600 prototypes of electrical vertical takeoff and landing. Of course, helicopter, one of them, Archer, Joby, Lilium. There's almost 6 are doing flight testing today, almost 12 on the process of certification. That part of the advanced air mobility is kind of advanced because the technology required to make this eVTOL flying is almost there. The second tiers of this industry is basically the infrastructure, the vertiports. So we don't have that much player right now in the industry, but the key objective of these second tiers is basically the infrastructures, the safety part of it, the air traffic management integrations part of it, and how to make sure that these aircraft are flying. The vertiports or the infrastructure is basically kind of helipads, Annex 14 of ICAO Volume 2. And there is some adaptation that has to be done to make sure that these infrastructure will be certified. The third tier is the charging facilities that it will be required to make sure that these aircraft are flying. If you take 2 steps back and position yourself in the seats of the regulators, so they have to certify this machine, which is almost airworthiness certification. They have to certify this infrastructures, which is basically most probably they will start with the volume 2 of ICAO Annex 14. And there is some works as well in terms of standardizations of the charging. The regulators today are facing tremendous challenges for different reasons. The most important one, this is a very new technology that they have to deal with, very disruptive, completely different from the way they are used to work with. The process is different, the technology is different. The second thing is the technology is evolving extremely fast. There is no way today to stop and to say, let's certify this one technology and let's see what the others will go in. There is, again, as I explained, 350 company, I think almost 350 technology that they are working on right now. So the regulator, it's extremely difficult for them to capture all the complexity of this technology that we see on site. Of course, diversity. So we don't have the same machine like volocopters, like Archer, like Helium. It's completely different. Again, this is creating kind of challenges for the regulator to deal with. The scale. Today we have Boeing, Airbus, almost a couple of 3, 4, 5, 6 engine type of aircraft. We have again 350 companies today doing the advanced air mobility. The scale, the level of scales that we have is never seen before in the aviation history. These challenges are important to understand. These challenges are important for you to capture, to understand where this advanced air mobility will be going forward. Most probably, we will see by 2027 almost the first machine certified. We don't know yet who, but there is a kind of advanced discussions with different regulators. VPort, we are part of some committees in EASA, Europe. We hope we see the same in FAA, Transport Canada, or NATS, or Australia. But the point is, there is some discussions enough advanced to make sure that I think we believe by 2027 we'll see the first eVTOL at least certified, but a lot of conditions that this machine will fly, most probably cargo, away from the populations, regional, for health-related advanced air mobility at the first starting point. 2030, we believe that the business will evolve differently, it becomes more commercial and more available. But up to then, as I explained earlier, the regulator is facing a lot of challenges that they have to deal with to make sure that he's at least certifying this in terms of safety and the regulation that is required. There is another pressure on the regulators, which is the social acceptability. This is a very important element that you have to factor if you want to understand the advanced air mobility map. The way forward is a map, or it's a process that the regulator and the industry, us including, to consider. I think we need to, as a regulator, we need to move from the solution. There is no solution. There is no regulation the same way we did it for, any other annexes for ICAO. It has to be driven by a process, not by the outcomes. Of course, safety first. This is important because safety is addressing the key element of the public expectation for that. Today, ICAO is not involved, not because they don't want to be involved. It's because today the industry is focused on countries. So the Germany helicopter, they're working basically with the regulator in Germany. The first step, of course, ICAO will evolve when its international business will evolve. We see today very little kind of corridor between countries, but of course, definitely they will evolve, but we can see by up to 2030, mostly it will be the same countries because it's easier to manage, it's less expensive to deploy. You have to think about this element as well. So basically, ICAO should, for now, is to monitor, see how things are moving internationally, follow up with different key industry or countries in the world, the FAA, because there is a lot of business there. And then ICAO soon, they have to come up with a kind of framework where these countries or these regulators, they have to follow through. Of course, the social acceptability, urban integration are a key element of this industry. You cannot, whatever who will be, regulators, the eVTOL machine, infrastructures, or the charging, you cannot evolve, you cannot make this business profitable if there is no social acceptability, there is no stakeholders engagement to make sure that everybody is accepting this type of industry. Thank you very much.